Don't blink, it's your boy Ying. Welcome to another video. Welcome to the show. Guys, doing well because they're having a fantastic 20th of July, or for most people, the global day of poutine. We just did a history of poutine in French. We're going to be doing a documentary on in English. That way we get to please everybody and we get to be bilingual. The beautiful bilingual person we are. So the name of the video is History of Canada's Favorite Food, Poutine. I did a ton of videos today about poutine, so I would say I'm a poutine-holic today. Poutine-holic. Really cool because last year we did a review of the story of the poutine. We did one video of that. It was my first video where it wasn't just a test. It was a longer form of content. What I'm super happy about, I even did a note in the calendar for the poutine day. So, without being said, what we like to do when we do a reaction, we're gonna be reacting to Can Theory, the history of Canada's favorite food, poutine. So they aren't French fries, but they are prepared exactly like fries. People complaining, you have no idea how to pronounce chrétien nor charret. Not in my part of Canada. The fuck? People are mad, bro. The fuck? I haven't watched it, so if it's shitty, I don't know. But it deserves a chance. So without further ado, grab a seat, grab a poutine, let's eat together. I wish I had poutine right now. We ate poutine today, however.
Considered by some to be the quintessential Canadian food, poutine's history is more interesting than you may think. First, let's get...
I feel like before we even start, after that was poutine. Poutine is fries, not chips, Cappy. Enough with the fucking chips. They're called fries. Thank you. We have... There's no cat in the recipe, don't worry. It's just a mad cat. We got cheese, which is called squeaky cheese. The squeaky cheese is a really nice cheese, which is really has properties that are super... They're super slippery. So you got a firm cheese, but it's slip and the sound is your teeth not going together. It's like when you're chewing gum with a very thin slice of gum, right? And you got gravy, which is basically beef stock and flour. That's your poutine. A quintessential meal in Canada is super simple Canadian and French Canadian because it was created in Quebec, which is French Canadian. Please, thank you. We're mostly farmers. We had a lot of farmers. We have an history of farmers. When you look at the poutine in itself, it's a story of farmers growing potato because it's one of the easiest vegetables to grow, of a cow being killed, right, with the cow fat and the milk of other cows being used to make cheese. Super simple to make. A poutine is 3 ingredients, remember that.
This out of the way. Poutine is not cheesy fries, nor, as South Park claimed, is it McDonald's French fries and KFC gravy. It's true, classic poutine begins with potatoes, skin on or...
I'm actually mad about the South Park thing because they did hire... Oh, look at this shit. This is beautiful. They did hire Kenny Hotz, a Canadian fucking role model of mine. Canadian hero, Canadian prodigy. The Canadian George Clooney should have told them, hey, poutine isn't that. And he didn't. So shame on you, Mr. Hotz. Shame on you.
Off. And usually cut like French fries. Ideally, the raw cut potato.
I'm gonna be sending this to Kathy because she's English and you believe fries are chips. I'm gonna be sending that bitch that thing. She'll freak out. We've been having this argument. This is a regular documentary. So Kathy, that victory is mine.
Those would be soaked in water for 4 hours to draw out the starch. Then they're fried to a golden brown, again, much like French fries. The gravy, usually beef...
See, that's where it hurts. So poutine... that's where it hurts. That's where it really hurts. So poutine, there's the traditional poutine, which is, again, 3 ingredients. But there's a lot of people that are going to do a different poutine now. The classical way to change a poutine, right, would be to add shit. We read a documentary, not a documentary, a history of poutine on the banquise. The banquise has 25 different versions of poutine. This is where I take my date, by the way. If you're going on a date with Inky, I'll take you to the banquise. That's a promise. That is a promise, guys. But yeah, so it's mostly adding shit to the poutine, right? It can be whatever you want. You can add something. Technically, cheese go with most of everything. Fries go with most of everything. The gravy might not go with something that's sweet, but that's just it. If you're a That's the regular way of changing poutine. If you're a bit, a lot of people, what they're gonna do is gonna trade the fries for they're gonna trade the fries for sweet fries. And it's if you look at the three ingredients, you're gonna change the gravy. The gravy you can make it thicker, you can put more flour, sure. You gotta change it. The cheese you can change it, but there's this traditional cheese. There's a cheese, especially for poutine. The thing that you can change the most, that most people change, is the fries.
Gravy needs to be heated at the same time. Once the potatoes are done, they're sprinkled with salt. Now again, this sounds like plain old fries and gravy. The big difference is the next ingredient.
So you have this whatchamacallit? You had this first meal, right? The first meal. If you see Lay's potato chip, they did a whatchamacallit? They did a fries and sauce and gravy. Call it disco fries. So if you don't add cheese, it's a disco fry. If you add cheese, it is officially a poutine.
Cheese curd. That is essential. While some restaurants may use mozzarella or white cheddar, this is an abomination and possibly a
See, what happened is, like, so for mozz, right? My problem with using mozz, a lot of people would say, hey, this is mozz and this is the Italian version of the poutine. You're just changing the cheese. There's a classic. If you look, especially, I truly feel like it has to do with where it comes from. So you see, the French Canadian, the French francophone, right? They invented poutine, and the French Canadian were descendants of the French, and everybody knows about the legacy of the French cuisine. French cuisine is one of the best cuisine in the world, but it's very traditional. You can't change French cuisine, right? You can make a French Asian fusion, but it's not French cuisine. So I think this is where the very formal, the very unofficial way of doing poutine come from. Geneva Convention.
Violation of the Geneva Convention. For the uninitiated, cheese curd is a byproduct of cheese making, the solid leftovers. The liquid leftover is called whey. Yes, that's what Little Miss Muffet was all about. Anyway, get it? The cheese curd needs...
I don't get most of the reference because I'm French Canadian, and some of those references are not from French Canada. But the great thing is, like, the way they talk about the cheese curd. I told you, this is very specific cheese. If it is cheese curd, it makes sense because I've been hearing it called cheese curd. Other problem is also I'm French, right? So I often call it fromage en grain, which is called fromage en grain is basically it's grain. What is grain? It's like whole, whole wheat, c'est grain entier. What is it? I have a writer's block en grain. I don't know, but it's not cheese curd.
It's to be added to the hot fries, mixed, and then the hot gravy is poured on top.
Telling me that this is not good. This doesn't look good.
The order is essential to properly melt the curd into a stringy, gooey mess of pure deliciousness. Eat it while it's warm, and if you need to reheat it later...
I don't know why they're having somebody eating chicken wings. It's very weird. I do like the documentary so far. I don't get people why they're hating on it, but you see, it's because it's such a making this video isn't a good idea. It's because Canadian, we care so much about poutine. We care so much about the purity of the poutine. It's our meal. It's our pride and joy, So I understand it's risky. Making a documentary like this, I can make whatever I want, right? There's no quality product. There's no production. There's no research behind it. It's just a dude reading an article or reacting to a video, right? It's the most simple thing. It's not official. But for an official documentary, it's a bit more serious.
Use an oven, not the microwave. This is not exactly healthy food. Using wacky Canadian measurements, aka metric, the most used measurement system in the world, a 254-gram poutine serving has 870 calories.
If I die fat because I ate too much poutine in my life, I'll have a happy life. Mosquito? No mosquito.
That's 9 ounces for Americans, Liberians, and the people of Myanmar. Okay, so where did poutine come from? While some people joke the dish was invented by the French army at the Battle of the Plains of Abraham in...
See, that's the thing. It's there's also it's because a lot of people, they don't know where it's coming from, and because it's such a success story, people of course want to be associated with success, and I feel this is where I feel this is where a lot of people get mad at people who claim poutine as their own. But again, it's a good meal. It's a something that is phenomenal, and we should be just grateful that we have it, right? Sorry, we have. Let's do. What do we want to see? I want to see yes. Okay, I want to see this. We're gonna be doing a stream after, a live TikTok live, whatever you want to fucking call it.
1759. The truth is, poutine was unheard of 75 years ago. It first appeared in Quebec.
See, I know I'm sorry, I'm stopping a lot, but we just read that history of poutine, and I think also the problem of the history of poutine was from a very small village. So there's this theory, this mentality that Canada is huge, but Quebec was a bunch of small village. It was a bunch of farmers, and the small village were 30,000 people, right? A lot of them were farmers, and because it was such a small thing, there's no legacy. You could be the best soccer player in your neighborhood if you're never being seen, if you never get heard of. It didn't happen.
Where the vast majority of Canada's French-speaking population lives. So who invented it? Well, it's not that simple. You see, two people laid claim to the invention. The first was Fernand.
It sucks because, like, I get it, it's popularity, I get it, it's a success story, I get it, it's an honor to be the one that created the, fuck, it feels bad because it's like, okay, I understand that you want to be the one that behind this greatness, there's the legacy, there's the story, there's the pride of it, but who gives a shit? It's something that's cultural, right? If you were an athlete, you actually worked for it, you created something that you got it out of luck. Right? You could look at I don't know. I just find it. I just have a problem with that. Fuck your pride. Fuck your legacy. Live for the culture. You know.
Lachance, who ran Café Ideal in Warwick, Quebec. He says a regular customer, Eddie Lainez, first ordered curd and fries together.
So this is the story we have. My problem with this one is there's no sauce. We just read that in French. So I know this one.
Lachance was reported to have replied, "Ça va te faire une maudite poutine." That translates to, in Warwick, Quebec. He says a regular customer, Eddie Lainez, first
I'm gonna correct his ass. I'm gonna correct it.
Ordered curd and fries together. Lachance was reported to have replied, "Ça va te faire une maudite poutine."
Ça va te faire une maudite poutine. Okay, this is proper French. You wanna go French Parisian? You wanna go with Paris? Ça va te faire une maudite poutine. Not that. And by the way, this is not a poutine. You didn't add sauces, which is not a poutine. You're gonna tell me you had it fucking cheese with fries and you want legacy? Fuck you. Fuck you, Lachance.
That translates to, "That will make a damn mess." Poutine is slang for mess in Quebec. There
Not true.
are many other theories where the name came from, but this is the most common.
So poutine is usually a fries meal. Usually a fries meal.
And served the combination in a paper bag, and customers added ketchup or vinegar. Later in 1963, he started serving the meal on dishes rather than bags.
In fact, if you go to France, if you go to Quebec, if you go to France, right? There's a lot of food truck, and a lot of restaurant, and one of them is called La Friterie. And La Friterie is basically a cone, an ice cream cone. Picture an ice cream cone. Take out a cone, put it in metal, put it in the paper, right? Put some fries, and the best thing about it is they'll tell you, okay, well, you're gonna have this. We'll give you like it's amazing. It's amazing. It's expensive though. It's expensive. When you think about a plate, a pimple, if you think about a cone of fries, you get it for fucking $20. It's super expensive, $25, super expensive. But what they do give you is a wide array of sauces. So you take your fries, which are simple fries. They're fried fries with salt, right? You got everything. You got fucking mayonnaise. You got fucking guacamole. You got fucking mayo, guacamole. You got ketchup. You got mustard. Reason why I choose mayo and guacamole is usually what I do. You're gonna have a ton, aioli, you name it, you have it. A lot of people do like vinegar, which is surprising. I don't mind vinegar, but not with fries. I don't like French fries with ketchup. I'm sorry, I never did. To me, a French fries is very salty, and ketchup is sweet. I love sweet and salty as a snack, not as a meal.
If the bags didn't contain the mess well, it meant a lot of work for his table cleaners. The problem there was the fries grew cold too quickly, so
Yes, this is true. This happened. So, like I said, you're gonna have like a cone of metal, right, which is supposed to be warm, and they protect it with a simple piece of paper. So, technically, the paper you're gonna be using traditionally is the paper you're gonna be using for when you bake cookies. You're gonna put the paper so they don't stick to the pan. That's your paper, right? So it won't keep the warmth. Even if you see when you're cooking the cookies, the goal of cooking the cookies is gonna get colder fast because you want to enjoy them, right? So it doesn't hold it doesn't hold. That's why people tend to want to eat, and it's very simple. French fries is one of the the only thing that's better than French fries, and fight me, is sweet French fries, but they're still the same concept. The fact that I told you guys this story about my father, right? My father's not a great cook. He tries though. He tries. I ate fucking, oh my god, I swear to god, I hate meals and meals and meals of ham and potato. And French fries is still, to me, the best way to make potato. French fries and mashed potato, I'm down for that.
he started adding hot gravy to keep them warm longer. However, in Drummondville,
That would make sense. Drummondville is Drummondville.
Jean-Paul Roy ran a drive-through restaurant where he served fries in a special
In the French version of this video, we have it also. We have it. We do have it. Look at this, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
sauce he called patat sauce. He also sold
Patat
cheese
sauce.
curd as a snack on their own. He noticed some customers added the curds to the fries and decided to add it to the menu in 1964.
So with Le Chance, my problem with Le Chance, it didn't put gravy. Right, so to me, a poutine is 3 ingredients. I'm not telling if the recipe called for 20 ingredients and you're missing one. That's one. I don't care. But poutine is 3 ingredients: gravy, fries, and cheese. Right? No bullshit. So this I would believe, like the fact that the gravy is used to have a fries. And if you look at poutine, the best thing about poutine is, I just had a poutine today, and the best thing about poutine is the softness of the fries. So a lot of people, they really, really enjoy their fries, their crunchy fries. They really enjoy it, and we have the softness of the fries, and you're like, I don't really like soggy fries. That's the beauty of the poutine. The beauty of the poutine is gonna be very warm. You want to eat it fucking steamy. You want to eat the fries. They're gonna be in your mouth. You want that hot gravy. You want that melty cheese. The second the poutine is cold, it's nuts because I would call cold poutine a good meal. I would call it a good meal. But no. It's like pizza. You can eat pizza the next day, but nothing beats the pizza that just came from the fucking store.
Rather than using bags, Roy had to travel to Toronto, Canada's largest city, to find a vendor carrying containers capable of standing up to the cheese and sauce. It's possible that both men came up with the idea on their own.
See, it makes sense. Again, the fact that the guy said, okay, well, I'm seeing customer put cheese, I'll be able to do the cheese. Because technically, if you look, it's my issue is, it's a very complicated thing. I would see, and it's complicated, I would see poutine without cheese as very good. I would see poutine without fries as very good. I would see poutine without gravy as not great.
Cheese curd was common in the region due to cheese
The
manufacturing.
cheese curd is a good cheese, but it's not a good melted cheese. It's not like nacho cheese.
Being a major industry at the time. Great minds, after all, do think alike. From there, poutine slowly spread across the region. By 1987, the food was so popular, fast food chain Burger King added it to its menu. McDonald's followed suit in 1990.
I did not know that. I didn't know Burger King was the first. I thought it was A&W. What the fuck?
Canadian hamburger chain Harvey's was surprisingly late to the party, waiting until 1992 to begin serving it.
I do understand Arby's. Trust me, I love poutine, but I understand thinking it's just a fad. I understand thinking it's just a popular item for the moment. I understand that. Oh.
Nowadays, most chains offer poutine as a replacement for fries at a higher price or as a meal all on its own. At the same time, varieties began to spring up. Some added meats, vegetables, and, as time went on, stranger and stranger types emerged. Whistle Stop Cafe in Peterborough, Ontario currently boasts over 100 varieties.
It sucks because it actually sucks because if you were to see like the poutine, I would have liked the poutine to flourish. I would have liked the poutine to become what it is. I have loved the poutine to become this historical fact of culinary in Canada and Quebec, worldwide as its own. I feel like if we believe this documentary, they went to had things way too quickly. Now, trust me, I don't care if you prefer your poutine. I actually do like a poutine with guacamole. My favorite poutine is possibly a lobster poutine. It's so good with lobster juice. I like a shrimp poutine because they put the shrimp juice in it. It's phenomenal. But to me, a meal that has a lot. If you're saying a poutine dish, if you're saying a meal in a restaurant, and there's so many ingredients, there's so many things that added to it. They're like, hey, this is insecurity. If your product is good, it's simple. The simple, the better. Oreo. What is the product that sells the most? Original. Original. I bought a Ben & Jerry, dude. Oreo. Cookie and cream. I cannot wait to eat it because it's Oreo. And simple and clean.
They include curry bites, mac and cheese, and holiday dinner. The last one has turkey, dressing, and cranberry sauce. There's one more famous story about poutine. This Hour Has 22 Minutes is a Canadian TV news show parody, now in its 30th season. In 2000, 22 Minutes correspondent Rick Mercer
22 Minutes is it's such a classic. 22 Minutes is the... So in French we have Infoman. 22 Minutes is the... is the actual... What should I call it? It's the actual show to go. It's a go-to show when you're not a fan of news. I love that because they're funny. They're funny and they don't take themselves seriously. But there is news. The problem with 22 Minutes and Rick Mercer, they do season. They don't do complete. So when there's a bunch of things that happen when it's not a season, you're missing out. So they're good shows, but they're part of Canadian heritage for sure. The thing with 22 Minutes and Rick Mercer, they're presented on CBC, which is the first Canadian broadcast channel, right? And it's free. There's a lot of people that don't have the cash. A lot of prison are watching those shows.
Attended a press conference by George W. Bush. At the time, Bush was still governor of Texas and was campaigning for the presidency for the first time. Mercer was able to ask a question and asked Bush for his reaction to being endorsed by Canadian Prime Minister Jean Poutine. The real PM was named Jean Chrétien. The problem for
Jean Chrétien.
Bush, not the...
And he was a great president, by the way.
Comedian, was he literally did not realize it was a joke or that the name was wrong. Bush thanked and praised Prime Minister Poutine quite graciously. He also went on to talk about free trade and stronger ties to Canada. Needless to say, this was a big hit in Canada, and Bush took some well-deserved mockery over the mistake.
I find this excessive. I understand there's pride behind the meal, but the fact that the guy didn't know about it, it's not. You don't have to know about something to be worth something else.
Years later, after Jean Chrétien had retired and been replaced by Paul Martin, Bush visited Canada. Showing humility and a sense of humor, Bush expressed his regrets that he'd never been able to meet Jean Poutine. As we mentioned, poutine is not exactly healthy. In addition to high calorie content, it's high in fat. In 2003, a group of Toronto parents began demanding poutine be removed from school cafeterias.
Okay, I'm gonna skip this shit. Fuck them. Talking about
cafeterias. Then Premier Jean Charest, yep, another Jean, dismissed the proposal.
Jean Charest. You wanna know my real name? Stéphane Charest. We're not related, but come on.
As Charest jokingly told reporters, there are limits to righteousness.
Jean Charest was a shitty prime minister, by the way. And there you go. We have this rule when you make reaction content that we stop when the video stop. So I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna say have a good Poutine Global Day. Thank you so much for being here. This is the end of the video today. You can join me in about 5 minutes for a TikTok live. And that's about it. Love y'all. Take it easy. Peace.